All right, I'm going to go ahead and do another example with 3 terms, factoring 3 terms. So first thing you always need to do is your greatest common factor. In this case, it's 2. I can divide all 3 terms by 2. So I'll go ahead and do that. That would give me, so, oh, forgot to write the 2 out. So you always keep that greatest common factor in front of everything. But in parentheses, I'll have x to the 4th minus 7x squared plus 12. So divide all of them by 2. Okay, now I'm just worried about what's in parentheses. So since there are 3 terms and my exponent is twice as big as my first exponent is twice as big as my middle, I'm going to go ahead and multiply my first number, which is a 1, by the last number, which is 12. So that gives me 12. Now the factors of 12 are 1 and 2, or 12, sorry, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4, and at that point, since we're already at 4, I don't need to keep going. Now, since it's a 12, just as a reminder, that tells us the signs are the same. They're both positive or they're both negative. Now we want them to add up to a -7, so that tells me they both need to be negative. So if I have a -3 and a -4 and I add those together, you'll get -7. So just so I don't end up having more problems later, I'm going to remind myself to bring that 2 down, but I'm just going to worry about everything else. So we have x to the 4th minus 3x, now it's to the 2nd, because it was 7x squared, and then minus 4x to the 2nd. These are both coming from these numbers right here, and then plus 12. And then at this point, you split it up. Now my greatest common factor of this first pair is x squared, so I'm going to take out an x squared, divide everything by x squared. So x to the 4th divided by x squared is x squared. -3x squared divided by x squared is just -3. And then I do the same thing for the next pair. -4x squared and 12 have a greatest common factor of -4. Now I do a negative because my first number is negative. But the first number in the pair is negative, pull out a negative. That way when I divide, I get a positive x squared when I divide it, because these need to match up perfectly, signs and all. 12 divided by -4 is -3. So at this point, I brought that greatest common factor down, so I'm going to put this next to it. I have my x squared minus 3, and then x squared minus 4 would be left over. And just remember that anytime you see an exponent, you always need to see if you can factor that down more. So in this case, it does factor, this one does factor down more, because 4 is a perfect square. Now 3 is not, so this one's done. So I'm going to write that 2 in front, the x squared minus 3, it's going to stay x squared minus 3. The x squared minus 4, I can factor into 2 more factors. Now x times x would give me x squared. And for 4, since it's negative, I'm going to have a negative and a positive. They have to be different signs. It'll be a -2 and a +2 that would multiply to give me -4. At this point, I'm done.